Thank you, sir. Good morning, Rampage family. Welcome back to another fun-filled day of hockey. Just a little bit less than a minute remaining in warm-up time for the boys. This morning's lineup for Game 4 of the weekend is against the Minnesota Blue Army. And
it doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem to be. Okay, well maybe you guys can hear me now, but apologies. I just had the best pregame speech of my life, and I don't think you guys could hear it. So you have to take my word for it. It was highly motivational. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out what's going on with my microphone setup right now. I don't know if I got a dead battery or what the deal is, but we will find out. And I will try to. All right, out on the ice to start. One, we've got Banyan, Jenkins, Flanagan, Bisley, and Bennett.
Still not working?
I'm going to try one more time. I might just have to stand close. And if I have to stand close, if you want to go sit where it's warm, yeah, you're welcome to. Because
Is it
if
not
I have
working?
No, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe battery went dead or something. I'm not sure. But anyhow. All right, here we get started. Period number 1. Rampage win the draw, back into their own zone. Bisley's going to skate to the far right side. Back into the Blue Army zone where they will recollect, send the puck up the near side wall. Coming back into the Rampage zone, Bennett's going to have to race back. He's got a player on. Drops it for Bisley in the corner. Bisley sends it up the near wall. Turn back around. Flanagan sends it up but not out. Blue Army keeps it in the zone. Puck tied up on the far wall. Now bouncing around out front. Shot taken. Shields with a save. Bennett's going to send it up but not out. Blue Army turns around. It's going to go to Bisley on the far side. Gets stuck on the wall. Blue Army keeps it in the zone. Bennett sends it up the wall on the far side. Banyan off the wall, looking for Bisley. Bisley sends a stretch pass, comes out of the zone. Blue Army has to tag up. They do, recollect the puck, send it down the wall to the far side. Bisley turns. He's going to fire up and out. Blue Army recollects it at neutral ice. Stretch pass gets broken up, bouncing around at neutral ice. Dormer's going to chip it into the Blue Army zone and give chase. Whittingham keeps it low in the corner on the near side. Puck rolls back behind the Blue Army net. Blue Army sends it up the near side wall. Whittingham is waiting there. He's going to chip it back the other way. Blue Army is now going to clear. Out to White at neutral ice. Back up to Dormer. And White comes in, takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Puck ends up back behind the net. White sends it up to the point to Fewer on the far side. Shot gets redirected, bouncing out front, and now it's going to end up down low. Blue Army gets there in the near side corner. They're going to flip it up and out of the zone. White sends it back in. Rampage have to tag up. Dormer in on the forecheck. Blue Army skates up and sends it off the boards, up and not quite out of the zone. White holds it at the blue line. He's going to send it back in. Down low for Sarver getting in the mix in the corner. Drexel comes in. He's going to skate up the wall, sends it across for Whitted. Whitted on the backhand, and I think the puck went wide of the net. It ends up in the near corner. He comes up. Whitted's going to turn, sends it back down low into the corner. It rolls behind the Blue Army net. Puck bouncing around. And comes to Whitted on the wall. He sends it through. It goes to the far wall. Bisley at the point sends it back in. Drexel is in there in the mix down low. Puck comes up the wall. Whitted changes direction. Sarver picks it up for Drexel. Drexel shoots up and over. It comes up, but not quite out of the zone. Puck back down low in the corner. Whitted skates it behind the net. He's going to skate to the far side, sends it up the wall, and then back to him. Puck comes up. Blue Army with the steal. They take it. They're going to clear it out. They're going to go for a change. Shields sends a stretch pass up to Roberts. Roberts tips it into the zone. Blue Army sends it back the other way. Bennett picks it up on the near side wall. He's going to turn with it. Sends it up the wall. Blue Army pins it. Still bouncing around right up front. And the puck goes just wide of the net. Comes back to the near side corner. Blue Army sends it back down. It's going to roll to the far side. Bisley gets there, tries to send it up the wall. Blue Army pins it in the corner. Bouncing around out front. Puck up to the point, and Blue Army sends it down the wall. And then Bennett with a clear. I'm sorry, that was Bisley with a clear. Back into the Rampage zone. Bouncing around, doesn't quite come out of the zone. Now it does. Rahosian picks it up. He's going to skate, gets a poke check, and Blue Army has the puck. They're going to send it across to the far side in their own zone and regroup. Blue Army sends it up the far wall, and now Flanagan turns around. He's going to dump it into the zone from the red line. Banyan's in on the forecheck. Puck comes up the far wall. Judkins sends it back deep. Blue Army has it behind their net. Skating up to the point. Puck comes out of the zone. White recollects. It's rolling on him, and he ends up sending it back the other way. Gets pinned against the wall momentarily. Blue Army now turns, is going to skate into the Rampage zone. Sends a pass across, shot taken, Shields with the save. White recollects, sends it up. It bounces through. Banyan's got it on his stick. Sends it back behind the net into the far corner. Flanagan's over there to do battle. Puck comes up the wall to Fewer. He holds it at the point. Back to a Blue Army player who's going to send it back again. Gets turned around and back into the Blue Army zone. Flanagan giving chase down low into the corner. Tries to tie things up in the far corner. Up to Whittingham. Off his stick to Bennett. Bennett takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Flanagan sends it out front, and Blue Army coming the other way. Blue Army dumps it in the zone in the near side. Bennett sends it across to Bisley. Bisley up to Whittingham. Whittingham sends a stretch pass looking for Freitas. It doesn't connect, so we will get a whistle for icing and face-off back in the Rampage zone with 12:23 left in the first. I believe that was our first whistle in over 5 minutes of play. Out on the ice, we've got Freitas, Whittingham, Dormer, Fewer, and White. Shot taken, Shields with the save. He has it in his glove. He's going to hang on to it. We'll get another face-off just like before. Puck ends up down low in the corner. Fewer kind of gets pinned down, and then Freitas comes in to help out. A couple of Blue Army players there. Fewer sends it around to the near side, where White sends it up the wall. It comes back into the corner. Blue Army sends it up to the wall again. Up to the point. Shot taken, deflects up and into the ceiling, then into the netting and out of play. So with 11:56 left in period number 1, we get a stoppage, and we will have a face-off in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Sarver, Whitted, Bennett, and Bisley. Rampage win the draw. Bennett flips it up to neutral ice. Blue Army's going to knock it down. They dump it back into the Rampage zone. Bisley sends it up the wall on the far side to Drexel. Drexel turns with it, sends it across looking for Sarver. Bennett pokes it forward. He's going to give chase, and Rampage are offside. 11:40 left in period number 1. We'll get a face-off outside the Blue Army zone. Same crew out as before. Tied up on the draw. It's going to come back to Bennett across to Bisley. Takes the red line. He's going to dump it hard. Puck rims around the boards to the far side where Sarver is waiting. He chips it back behind the net to the far side. Tied up down low. It's going to bounce out front, and the Blue Army goaltender is going to cover it up. So we get a stoppage with 11:17 left in period number 1. We'll have a face-off in the Blue Army zone.
You want this?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, thanks. Blue Army wins the draw. They come skating out of the zone, dump it into the Rampage zone just wide of the net. White gets there, sends it up the boards and into the netting and out of play. So we'll have a face-off in the Rampage zone. Tied up on the draw. Drexel skates out of the pile with it. It's out to neutral. And then he's going to dump it into the Blue Army zone. Sarver gives chase on the forecheck. Puck comes up to the near side wall and gets cleared out to neutral ice, where Fuhrer picks it up, backhands it to White. White sends a pass across. Sarver gets a stick on it. He's going to drive it into the zone, down low, into the far corner. Sarver ties things up down low. Turns, Sarver with the shot. Goaltender with the save. Puck bouncing around back behind. Comes up, but not out. Sarver holds it in the zone. Blue Army coming back the other way. Into the Rampage zone. Shot taken. Shields with it in his glove. He's going to hang on. And with 10:20 left in period number 1, we will get a face-off in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahosian, Bisley, and Bennett. Back into the corner. Bennett sends it up to the far side. Bisley's going to carry it up the far wall. Flips it up and out. Doesn't connect. Apparently was tipped, so play will continue. Puck comes up the near side wall. Up to the point, but not out. Sent back in. Foster knocks it down. Has to give chase into the corner. He's got Roberts in there to help him out. Puck comes up the wall. Blue Army sends it off the far wall out to neutral. Bisley's going to dump it. Rampage have to tag up. Blue Army take the puck out from behind their net, send it across to the near side, and we have a steal by Fuhrer. He's going to dump it in. Blue Army unable to clear, or maybe they did. It's out to neutral ice now. Into the Rampage zone. Fuhrer turns, sends it in the skates of Rahosian. Blue Army with it on the far wall, send the pass across. White with the steal. Tries to send it across. It goes off of a boot. It doesn't come out of the zone. Now it's bouncing around up front. Judkins sends it up the wall. Rahosian backhands it out to neutral ice, just outside the zone. White's going to poke check it, skates it through. Puck bouncing around at neutral ice, and now Blue Army's into the Rampage zone on the far side. Shot goes wide of the net. It's going to rim around the boards to the near side, up and out of the zone. Blue Army recollects. They're in their own zone with it. Back to the near side. And across again. They're going to dump it into the Rampage zone. Shields holds it up. He's going to play it to the near side. Blue Army with the steal sends it back the other way to the far wall. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Flanagan picks it up. He's going to turn, skates it into the zone, poke check, and now Blue Army turns it back around. Bisley over to Bennett. Bennett off the wall on the near side. It's into the zone, doesn't connect, and we get a whistle for icing. With 8:17 left in period number 1, we'll get a face-off back in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Dormer, Bennett, Bisley, Freitas, and Whittingham. Puck back into the corner. Bennett sends it around to the far side wall. Bisley doing battle against the wall. He's got Whittingham in the mix as well. Tied up on the far wall still. And now Blue Army comes off the wall. Puck sends it across the near side circle. Shot goes wide. Ends up on the far wall. Puck bounces up. Dormer knocks it down. And Blue Army's going to take it back. Sends a shot in, deflects up and over the net. Ends up in the far corner. Blue Army sends it right back down again. Bennett sends it up the wall on the near side, unable to clear. Puck tied up back behind the Rampage net. Dormer and Bisley in the mix. Gets kicked out to Freitas. He turns with it. He's going to backhand it up and out of the zone. I think that's probably going to be icing. And they wave it off. Play will continue. Blue Army sends it up on the near side wall. Rampage get a change out on the ice. Puck comes up to back into the Rampage zone. Fewer picks it up, sends it up the wall looking for Sarver, and it goes through, but play continues. Somebody must have touched it. Drexel ties things up down low. Whitted's in the mix as well. It comes back. Sarver picks it up. He's on the wall. Whitted sends it across. Blue Army with the steal are coming back this way. Into the Rampage zone. They're going to take the near side wall. Skate off the wall. Shot goes off of Drexel. It bounces out of the zone. Sarver gets there. He's got a little bit of space. He's got Drexel over to Sarver. Or to Drexel to Sarver, and goaltender makes a save. It's hard to see from down here, but it was a nice little give and go between Sarver and Drexel. Unfortunately, nothing to show for it yet. Puck gets sent back down low. Sarver gets in the mix. Whitted ties things up down low. And he's going to skate out with it, sends it up to the point to Bennett, over to White. White sends it down the boards on the far side. Back into the near side corner. Blue Army sends a stretch pass to the near side. They're into the Rampage zone. Bisley with a steal. Bennett's going to flip it up, and then Rahosian picks it up. He skates out of the zone with it. He's into the Blue Army zone on the near side. He turns, sends it just wide of the net. It's going to end up on the far wall. Bisley pinching in, keeps it down low, sends it around to the near side. Puck up to Bennett. Bennett sends it across. It goes to the far wall. Roberts is in there, keeps it down low. Foster skates out of the corner, turns, shot goes off a body, and Blue Army coming back the other way. They're going to dump it into the Rampage zone on the far side. Rahosian picks it up. He turns. He's going to skate with it. He's out of the zone. Takes the red line. He's going to flip it into the Blue Army zone. Puck goes into the near side corner. Blue Army sends it up and off the wall. Out of the zone. Quick steal by Banyan. He's going to flip it in. Rampage have to tag up. And Banyan gives chase. Up to Judkins. Judkins over to Flanagan. Flanagan takes a shot. Body's in the way. Puck ends up behind the Blue Army net. Out to neutral. Blue Army into the Rampage zone. Shot taken. Shields with the save. It's bouncing around out front. Gets cleared to the far wall. Puck comes around to the near side corner. Tied up. Out to the far wall. Judkins turns with it. Sends a stretch pass to White. White's into the zone on the near side. White feeds it towards the goaltender. Goalie has it in his glove. He's going to hang on. 4:14 left in period number 1. We'll get a face-off in the Blue Army zone. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Dormer, Freitas, Bennett, and Bisley. Blue Army wins the draw, rolls to the far side, comes up and out of the zone. They're going to send it deep into the near side. Puck goes around to the far corner, up to the point, back down the far wall. Up the wall. Still trapped in the Rampage zone. Dormer gets a stick on it and just catches an edge. Must have come out of the zone. So we get an offside whistle. 3:45 left in the first period. Face-off will be outside the Rampage zone. On the ice, Bennett, Bisley, Sarver, Whitted, Drexel. Blue Army wins the draw. Send it to the near side. It's into the Rampage zone, into the corner. Bisley gets there, changes direction for it. Whitted gets a stick on it, tries to feed it up the wall. Bisley's going to recollect, sends it around to the far side. Gets tied up on the far wall. Down low, or tied up on the boards. Drexel pulls it out of the pile. He turns with it, skates out of the zone. Drexel turns, sends a pass across. Doesn't connect, it goes into the zone. Play will continue. Whitted on the forecheck. Sarver's going to go after it in the far corner. Bounces out to a Blue Army player who turns around and is going to skate back into the Rampage zone on the near side. Quick move made, shot taken. Shields makes the first save, and there's a player waiting. And with 2:53 left in the first, Minnesota Blue Army goes up by 1. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahogen, Bisley, and Bennett. Tied up on the draw. It ends up in the Blue Army zone, bouncing around, and now Bennett has it on his stick over to Bisley. Bisley dumps it into the zone. Blue Army knocks it down. Puck comes out to neutral ice. Blue Army back into the Rampage zone. Pass across. Bisley sits down in front of that one. Shot. Shields with the save. Puck bouncing around, and now it's going to get cleared the distance. That'll be icing. We get a whistle. We'll get a face-off back at the Rampage zone. 2:33 left in period number 1. On the ice, we've got White, Fewer, Banyan, Judkins, and Flanagan. Rampage win the draw. Fewer over to White. White skates to the near side. Gets tied up on the boards. Puck comes up to the point, and now Judkins is going to turn with it. Sends it across looking for Banyan. Banyan pulls it off the wall. He's going to dump it into the zone. Puck back behind the Blue Army net. Blue Army sends it up the near side wall. Pass out to center. Now Judkins back to Fewer. Fewer sends it up and into the zone. It's on net. Play will continue. Flanagan on the forecheck. Puck to the near side wall. Cross ice to the far side, into the zone. White picks it up, turns, breaks a stick in a clearing attempt. Blue Army skates it back down the wall. Up to the blue line, shot taken. White gets his body in the way. Comes up to Flanagan. Flanagan turns with it. Poke check. It's going to go to the far wall. White sits down in front of another shot. Blue Army skates it back behind the net, sends it out front. Don't get much on their shot. Comes up to the blue line, held in the zone. Back behind the net. White plays a little bit of soccer. He's going to try to tie it up. Fewer sends it up the boards on the far side. And puck ends up in the near side corner. Banyan sends the puck around to the far side. Fewer tips it. Goes up in the air, not out of the zone. Blue Army sends it back in. Shields with the save. White is going to cover it up and sends the puck up to the blue line. Cross to the far side. Back down. Turn. Shot taken. White gets in the way of that one. Deflects it wide of the net. Goes to the far side wall. Blue Army still with the puck. Boys just need to clear. Trent White's been playing for about a minute without a stick, and now Flanagan's going to send it the distance. We get a whistle for icing. Face-off will be back in the Rampage zone. 26 seconds left. Trent White playing an excellent shift without his stick after he broke his early on. Out on the ice, we've got Bisley, Bennett, Dormer, Freitas, and Whittingham. Rampage win the draw, back into the corner. Blue Army's going to skate it to the far side. Up to the point. Shot taken. Shields with the save. Bisley up the wall. Freitas wrangles it in. Sends it over looking for Dormer. Blue Army turns it back around. Chips up into the air and out of play. 5 seconds left. Face off outside the Rampage zone. Whittingham, Dormer, Freitas, Bennett, and Bisley. A lot of broken sticks this weekend. It's been an expensive weekend for hockey parents. Shot, Shields with the save. He's going to hang on. Time will expire on period number 1. So your score after 1 is 1-0 in favor of the Minnesota Blue Army. A little too much time spent in our own zone this period. Need to create a little bit more offensive opportunity. I think the boys just need to wake up a little bit. I feel like they're just not playing at the level that they're capable of playing this morning so far. It's not bad. It just needs to be better. I still love each and every one of them very much, as well as all of you watching at home. All right, out on the ice to get us started for period number 2. We've got Bisley, Bennett, and I'm waiting to see which line of forwards we're going to go with. It looks like Banyan, Judkins, and Flanagan. Tied up on the draw. Blue Army's going to skate it towards the Rampage zone. They're now going to send it in. Puck low in the corner, gets sent around to the far side. Up the wall on the far side. Blue Army turns, shoots, and Shields has it in his glove. He's going to hang on to it. We'll get another face-off in the Rampage zone. 17:42 left in period number 2. Same group out as before. Puck comes up to the point. Blue Army sends it wide of the net, ends up on the near side wall. Fed through, back behind the net, fed out front. Blue Army collects it to the blue line. Shot goes up and over and ends up on the far side. Comes up to the blue line, but not out. Blue Army across to the near side. Shot taken. Shields with the save. He's going to hang on. So we get a stoppage. We'll have the face-off in the Rampage zone. And the clock never started on that last shift because we still have 17 minutes and 42 seconds. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, White, Dormer, Freitas, and Fuel. Puck goes back behind. White picks it up. He's going to skate to the far side. Sends the puck up off the boards. It doesn't connect, and we get a whistle for icing. And we still have 17 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock. And the scorekeepers are trying to get the ref's attention, but they got to blow a horn or something. Oh, they just fixed it down to 17:06, which is probably about close. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Blue Army gets back to it first. Up and out of the Rampage zone to the near side. Blue Army sends it up, doesn't connect, and we get a whistle for icing. Faceoff will be in the Blue Army zone with 16:51 left in period number 2. Same group out as before. Dormer, Friedis, Whittingham, Fewer, and White, if I didn't say that already. Rampage win the draw up to the point. Fewer across to White. White sends a shot, flicks off a stick back behind the net. Dormer skates up, sends it up to Fewer at the point. Fewer sends it across to the far side. Puck comes off the wall. Dormer sends back down to Whittingham. Whittingham with a shot. Goalie gets a piece that goes up and over. Ends up on the near side wall. Bounce around out front. Dormer's got a little bit of room. Tries to drop it for Whittingham. Just didn't connect. Puck comes up and now out. Friedis dumps it back in. Rampage have to tag up. Blue Army recollect down low in their own zone. Send it up the near side wall. Goes off a stick. It's going to go the distance. And play continues. Drexel gets back. He's going to skate it to the far side. Comes back to Dormer. Dormer's going to chip it in and go for a change. Blue Army skates from behind their own net, up and out of the zone with it. It's into the Rampage zone deep. And that one is going to go for icing. So we get a whistle. Faceoff will be back in the Blue Army zone. 15:45 left in period number 2. On the ice, we've got Drexel, Sarver, Whitted, Bennett, Bisley. Rampage win the draw up to Bennett. Bennett skates down the wall on the far side. And now Blue Army flips it up and out of the zone. Drexel has to race back to get there. He's going to turn to the near side. Sauces it up to neutral ice. Whitted with a poke check over to Sarver. Sarver takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. He covers it up. 15:21 left in period number 2. Face-off in the Blue Army zone. Same crew out as before. Puck comes up and out of the Rampage zone. Out of the Blue Army zone, back into the Rampage zone. Bennett's going to skate it to the near side. Sends it up the wall for Drexel. Puck comes out. Blue Army's going to dump it in and tag up. Bisley on the near side leaves it back in the corner. Bennett turns with it. Comes back to Bisley. Goes up the wall on the far side. Sarver off the wall. Drexel skates it out of the zone. He's going to chip it into the zone, give chase. Drexel's the first one to get there. And Carter Drexel with a nifty little move. Drexy with hands so sexy. 14:49 left in period number 2. Rampage get on the board and tie the score 1-1. Out on the ice, we have Fewer, White, Foster, Rahosian, Roberts. Puck comes back into the Blue Army zone. Sent across to the near side wall. Off the wall, Rahosian tries to turn it around. Blue Army clears it out to neutral. They're going to skate through into the Rampage zone on the far side. Shot taken. Rahosian eats another one. That is becoming a theme for young Yevgeny Rahosian. Eating shots all day long. Puck down low in the corner. White sends it up the boards on the far side. Roberts over to Fewer. Fewer sends it up off the boards, and then Rahosian's going to turn, gets stuck, and now he's going to dump it into the zone. Blue Army gets there behind their own net. Roberts in on the forecheck. Tries to tie things up. He's got Foster in to help him out. Up close and personal view on that little corner play. Blue Army coming back the other way. They're going to chip it in the Rampage zone, the far corner. Send it up the far wall, and then comes up to the point but not out. Drop down low, and Shields has it and is going to hang on. So with 13:39 left in period number 2, we'll get a face-off in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Judkins, Flanagan, Bennett, Banyan, and Bisley. Tied up on the draw, and Bennett's going to clear the zone with it. Banyan brings it in, back to Bennett. Puck ends up the near side corner. Up to Flanagan at the point, shot taken. Goaltender has it in his glove. He's going to hang on to it. 13:23 left in period number 2. Same group out as before. I can see him a little bit better now. It's Banyan, Flanagan, Judkins, Fewer, and Bennett. Puck comes back. Blue Army skates it and sends it up the far side wall. Bounces up. Bennett holds it momentarily, and it's going to come up and out of the zone now. Fewer turns the near side wall. Sends it in deep. Blue Army chips it up to the near side wall and then held in the zone. Banyan back behind the net. Gets tied up. He's got Flanagan come in to help him out. He sends it up to White at the point. White back to Flanagan. Flanagan gets poke checked at the far wall, and now the puck comes up and out of the zone. Blue Army sends it across to the near side. They're into the Rampage zone with it. Sent across to the far corner. Flanagan turns with it, tries a stretch pass. Blue Army breaks up that pass. Puck back in the Rampage zone. Blue Army on the near wall. Send the puck just wide of the net, and now it gets tied up down low. Blue Army sends it back up to the point at the near side. Quick steal by Flanagan up to Freitas. Freitas tries to get through, gets taken down from behind. Flanagan takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. That looked like a trip to me. So far, 12-12 left in the second period, almost halfway through the game, and have yet to have a penalty for either team. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Freitas, Dormer, Bennett, and Bisley. Puck goes to the far wall. Blue Army rims it around to the near side, back to Bisley. Bisley sends it back down. Whittingham gets there, sends it up the wall on the far side. Bennett sends it back in. Whittingham knocks it down, turns, and Jack Whittingham. So, with 11:57 left in period number 2, Rampage take the lead on an even strength goal to the Jack Attack himself, Mr. Whittingham. And looks like we are going to get a quick line change. Out on the ice, we've got Bisley, Bennett, Drexel, Whitted, and Sarver. Bounces through. It's into the Blue Army zone. Drexel sends it down into the corner. Sarver picks it up. He's behind the net with it. Sarver skates to the far corner, sends it up front. Whitted with the shot. Goaltender with a save. Puck comes loose. And now Blue Army clears it up and out and back into the Rampage zone. Bisley has to go back for it. Bennett on the far side feeds it up for Whitted. Whitted into the zone, over to Drexel, and Drexel with goal number 2. Nice steal at center ice. Feed from Whitted to Drexel. Drexel waiting on the back door, and he's just going to bury that thing for his second goal of the game. 11 minutes and 30 seconds left in period number 2. And Drexy's hands are getting sexier as we go. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahosian, White, and Fewer. Rampage win the draw, back to White on the far side. Sends a pass through off of Rahosian's stick. Rahosian's going to give chase. Goaltender's going to cover it up. So we get a whistle. We'll have a stoppage and a face-off in the Blue Army zone with 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in period number 2. Same group out as before. Roberts, Foster, Rahosian, White, and Fewer. Puck back into the corner. Tied things up. Rahosian and Roberts are in there. Tied up in the far corner still. And now Rahosian pulls it out of the pile, and it comes back to Roberts. Roberts feeds it to the far wall. Rahosian gets there, sends it up to White at the point, just loses the handle, has to recollect at neutral ice. He turns, dumps it back in, but Rampage have to tag up. Blue Army takes the red line. They're going to dump it hard into the Rampage zone. White skates it to the near side. Comes up. Foster's going to get there. He's into the zone on the near side, puck into the near corner. And Roberts sends it up the wall to Fewer, who takes a shot, deflected, bouncing around out front. Rahosian on the follow, on the rebound. So Yevgeny Rahosian, the man they call Eugene, with 10:31 left in period number 2. Rampage go up by a score of 4-1. Excellent net front battle by Eugene to catch the rebound and put it in. Out on the ice, we've got Banyan, Flanagan, Judkins, Bisley, and Bennett. Banyan skates it in on the far side. Puck tied up on the wall. It's going to come out to a Blue Army player out who sends it into the neutral zone. They're going to take the near wall into the Rampage zone. They turn with it, send it across, up the blue line. Shot goes wide of the net. It's back behind the net. It gets sent to the near side wall. Blue Army skates off the wall with it, tries to make a move, feed it to the far side, and I think the net came off. We get a stoppage. Yeah, it looks like the net came off. 10:02 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Dormer, Friedis, Whittingham, Bennett, and Bisley. Bisley sends it over to the far side. Bennett up the wall. Blue Army holds at the point. Skates down low. Shot. Shields with the save. He's going to cover it up. So we get a stoppage. We'll have a face-off in the Rampage zone. 9 minutes and 51 seconds left in the second. Tied up, down low. Looks like ends up back in the far corner. Back behind the Rampage net to the near side. Up to the point. Blue Army sends it down low. Bisley up the near side wall for Whittingham. He's going to trap it on the wall. Dormer's in to help out. Puck is just stuck up at the point, and now Bennett chips it up and out. No, I'm sorry, that was Bisley chipped it up and out. Blue Army's going to turn with it in their zone, send it up. Friedis holds it at the blue line. Blue Army clears the zone on the far side. They're into the Rampage zone now. Shot taken, Shields with a save. Puck goes off the near wall. Whittingham comes skating up the wall, looking for Friedis. Just didn't connect on the pass. Dormer waits for Friedis to tag up. He's going to dump it in. Blue Army goaltender leaves it for their defenseman. They're back behind the net. Regrouping. We're going to send the puck up to neutral ice. Whitted with the steal. He's coming back the other way. He's into the zone, and Rampage are offside. 8:33 left in period number 2, and that should be the ice cut. Ice cut. So we'll take a break for about 10 minutes, get some fresh ice, and when we come back, Rampage are up by a score of 4-1. Face-off should be just outside the Blue Army zone. I'm going to go on mute, and we'll see you guys back in about 10. right, folks, welcome back as we get ready to start the second half of the second period. Face-off should be just outside the Rampage zone as we ended on an offside call. Score is currently 4-1 in favor of your Colorado Rampage. And we had an excellent start to the second period. I mentioned before that the boys needed to pick things up a little bit. They weren't playing bad. They just needed to play a bit better. And I think they heard me as they came out and scored 4 goals in the first half of the period. So hopefully they'll just keep that going. Now, one thing I do notice about this Minnesota Blue Army team is they don't have a lot of numbers, so not a lot of lines to take over. So hopefully the Rampage boys can just kind of beat them down and make them tired through the game. Out on the ice, we've got Banyan, Judkins, Flanagan, Bennett, and Bisley. Blue Army wins the draw, back into their own zone with it. Send it to the far side and back again. Up and just outside the zone. It's going to bounce out. It's into the Rampage zone. Shot taken. Shields with the save. Sends it to the near side wall. I hate this first couple. Shot taken. Shields with the save. He's going to hang on. I hate this first couple of minutes after an ice cut because the ice is just weird. It's sticky in spots and entirely too smooth in other spots. Out on the ice, we've got Fewer, White, Freitas, Dormer, and Whittingham. Rampage win the draw, send it over to the far side. White skates to the far side, sends the puck up, and now clears the zone. It comes through, and Blue Army flips it back the other direction into the Rampage zone on the far side. Shot goes wide of the net, ends up on the near side boards. Freitas skates it, dumps it into the zone. Blue Army gets there first, sends it up the boards on the near side. Puck bounces out. Dormer gets a stick in there, and now Blue Army's going to clear it. And Fuhrer dumps it back in. He's going to go for a change. Whittingham comes in, keeps the puck down low. Sends it up to Sarver. Sarver takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. He's going to keep it in his glove. 7:26 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Whitted, Drexel, Sarver, Bisley, and Bennett. Puck goes to the near wall. Shot bounces off a body and comes all the way out of the zone. No icing. Play will continue. Bennett gets there first in his own zone, sends it up the wall on the far side to Whitted. Whitted off the wall to Drexel. Drexel skating through. He's into the zone. He holds up, tries a centering pass. Blue Army's there to pick that pass off. Puck comes out to neutral. Rampage have to tag up. Blue Army to the far wall. Cross ice to the near side. Into the Rampage zone. They're going to dump it into the far corner. Puck gets tied up down low in the corner. I can't tell who's in there right now. Looks like it's going to come up to Drexel. Drexel turns, clears the zone. Blue Army changes direction. Now Drexel's going to pick it up. Tries to feed it over to center, and Rampage are offside, so they have to all tag up. And they're going to go for a change. Puck comes out to Roberts. He sends it across to the near side. Puck trickles back into the Blue Army zone, and it's going to come back towards the goaltender. Sends it across to the far side. Back again to the near side boards. Blue Army off the far wall. Rahosian turns. He takes a shot. Yevgeny Rahosian adds his second tally for the game. So the man they call Eugene, I'm going to call 2 Gene today. Hopefully he'll make it to 3 Gene. We'll see. Time will tell. 6:06 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahosian, Fewer, and White. Blue Army wins the draw. Back across to the near side and across again. Into the Rampage zone. Fed out to the top of the circle. Shot gets deflected up and behind. And the net comes off as Shields attempts to play it. I'm going to reserve all comments about hockey net pegs today, as that got me in a little trouble yesterday. But we will just say these nets haven't stayed on very well this weekend. Puck comes back and through to the far side corner. White sends it up for Rahosian, gets stuck on the wall on the near side, and Blue Army turns it around. Up the near side, quick takeaway. White's got it, sends it up. I'm sorry, that was Fewer that had it. Chips back into the Blue Army zone. Rahosian giving chase. Blue Army skates to the near side. Flips it up in the air. Bennett knocks it down. Turns. Sends a sauce pass out to neutral ice. And it comes back to Flanagan to the far wall. Flanagan pokes it down into the corner. Foster is in there to mix things up. Puck comes to the near side. Blue Army tries to send it out. Bounces up and out to the neutral zone. Bisley turns it around, chips it back in. Blue Army comes back for it. They're going to send it up and out where Bisley is waiting. Bisley sends it up the near side wall, off of Flanagan's stick, into the zone. Blue Army comes back for it. Drops it down low, and then sends it up the far wall. Quick steal by Flanagan. Tries to give it back to Banyan. Banyan turns, fires, body's in the way. Puck bounces out front. And Flanagan gets it on his stick, drives it, gives it to Judkins. Judkins skates off the wall, bouncing around, and then Blue Army is going to turn and clear at the distance. That would have been icing, I think, but Shields plays it. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but 4:28 left in period number 2, and Blue Army put another goal on the board. Out on the ice, we've got Dormer, Whittingham, Freitas, Fewer, and White. Bouncing around at neutral ice. It's going to come back to White on the far side. Feeds it through to Whittingham. Whittingham over to Dormer. Dormer takes a shot, goes up and over, ends up in the far corner. Held in the zone momentarily, bouncing around, and then Freitas shoots it wide of the net. It comes to the near side. Blue Army turns with it. They feed it across to the far side. They turn, send it up the wall on the far side, comes out of the zone, and they send it cross ice. Fewer turns it around, gets held on the boards. Whittingham comes back for it. He turns with it, backhands up to Freitas. Freitas back to Whittingham. Whittingham's in the zone, bouncing around, little back and forth, and Freitas takes a shot, goes wide of the net, ends up on the near wall. Dormer and Whittingham up against the wall. Whittingham skates it off the wall, backhands it just wide of the net, goes to the far side. Bennett sends it around the boards for Dormer. Dormer turns, feeds it back down low. Freitas picks it up behind the net, tries to feed it out front. Puck bouncing around, comes up to the point, bounces off a body, and goes out. Fewer turns, sends it off the wall for Dormer. Dormer at the point, sends it across to Sarver. Sarver with the shot, deflects up and over. Blue Army sends it up and out, and the distance, and we get a whistle for icing. 4:03 left in period number 2, and the clock is still running. Ran off about 3 seconds. Face off in the Blue Army zone. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Bennett, and Bisley. Rampage win the draw. Sarver tries to feed up the boards. Blue Army's going to chip it up and out of the zone. They're coming back with speed. Centering pass attempt gets broken up, and now Drexel turns around and is coming back the other way. Drexel back into the zone. Feeds it across, looking for Sarver. Just went through the stick. Blue Army coming back the other direction. Puck goes down low into the corner. Drexel turns with it. feeds it up for Sarver. Sarver's into the zone, tries to make a move, and then Blue Army clears it up, but not out. Drexel holds it at the blue line. He turns with it. Feeds it across to Whitted. Whitted takes a shot, goes off the iron and wide. White to Whitted. Whitted takes a shot, goes off the body, comes right back to him. Drexel picks up the puck. Blue Army rims it around to the far side. Whitted had his stick slashed out of his hand. Puck comes up the far wall. And now out of the zone where it gets fed back to White. Looking for Whitted. Blue Army's there. Whitted holds the puck. And Blue Army sends it out to neutral ice. And it's going to bounce into the Rampage zone. Towards Shields. He's going to make a save, cover it up. We'll get a stoppage. 2:43 left in period number 2. We'll have a face-off in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, White, Foster, Rahosian, and Fewer. Blue Army wins the draw up to the point. They send it back down low into the corner. Shot. Shields with a save. Puck ends up back below. I think Foster had lost his stick. Just picked it up. Tied up down low in the corner on the wall. And now it gets cleared up and out of the zone. I believe that's going to go for icing. And it does indeed. 2 minutes and 9 seconds left in period number 2. Face-off will be in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Flanagan, Judkins, Banyan, Bennett, and Bisley. Back into the corner. Bisley goes after it, skates to the near side, sends it up. Unable to clear. Shot on goal. Shields with the save. He's going to scoop it back behind. Bennett sends it up the far wall. Puck still in the zone for now. Gets sent down low. Bennett's waiting. He's going to flip it up in the air, out to neutral ice. Blue Army knocks it down. They're going to dump it in on net. Shields holds it up for Bisley. Bisley to Bennett. Bennett cross ice looking for Banyan. Just goes off the stick. It's into the zone now. And we get a whistle for icing. 1 minute and 30 seconds left in period number 2. Face off in the Rampage zone. On the ice, Whittingham, Freitas, Dormer, Fewer, and White. Put on the far wall. Bounces out front. It's still bouncing around. Goes back out to the wall. Dormer sends it up for Freitas. And then gets back to Freitas. Freitas to White. White feeds it over looking for Whittingham just in front. Whittingham sends it back down low in the corner. Freitas ties things up on the wall. Whittingham comes in to help out as well. Puck rims around the boards to the far side. Out of the zone. And Dormer takes a big hit to the face mask into the boards. You know you can't do that. You know you gotta put your hand up too, right? Like, you understand how this works. So we've got a penalty, apparently coming only to Rampage for an elbow. 49 seconds left in period number 2. Rampage are going to be on the penalty kill for the first time this game. The refs are pretending like they're actually watching it now. Out on the ice to start the PK, we've got White, Banyan, Drexel, and Whitted to start the PK. Face off in the Rampage zone. That was some first-class BS, if you ask me. And little Bobby in the scorekeeper box can't get the time up on the board, but they did finally. All right. Puck gets cleared up and out. It's coming all the way back to Blue Army goaltender. Drexel on the forecheck. Blue Army changes direction. They skate up and out of their zone. Pass across. It goes to the far side corner. White ties things up down low in the corner. Blue Army skates to the near side. Drops it back down low. Banyan tries to tie things up down low. Blue Army sends it across to the far side wall. Back down the far boards. White with the steal. He's going to clear it the distance. Rampage are going to go for a change, or at least the two forwards are. Blue Army holds it up in the corner, and time expires on period number 2. So when we come back, Rampage will have 1:10 left on the penalty kill. Currently up by a score of 5-2. All right, here we go, getting ready to start period number 3. And 1:10 left on the penalty kill. Out on the ice to get us started, we've got Sarver, Whittingham, Bennett, and Bisley. Tied up on the draw. Minnesota Blue Army is going to win it back into their own zone. They dump it in. Shields is going to cover it up. So we get a stoppage. We'll have a face-off in the Rampage zone. 17:48 left in the game. 59 seconds on the penalty kill. Same group out as before. Bounces back. Bisley tries to get there. Ties it up down low in the corner. Blue Army turns. Send it up to the point on the near side. Cross to the far side point. Back to the circle. Shot taken. And that's going to go in. So with a power play goal at 17:31 left in the third, Blue Army brings the score to 3. Rampage currently leading by a score of 5-3, which is not as comfortable as it was when we were up by 4 goals. Out on the ice, we've got Foster, Roberts, Rahosian, White, and Fewer. Rampage won the draw. Back to White. Skates to the near side. Off of a body, and now he's going to chip it in hard. Puck goes behind the Blue Army net. Blue Army comes skating out from behind their net. Sends it to the near side. Pass across. Rahosian breaks up the pass. Sends it across to Fewer. Fewer up the wall. Looking for Foster. Blue Army chips it back in. Just wide of the net. White picks it up down low. Sends it up the far wall. Rahosian turns, fires it up and out of the zone. Blue Army recollects in their own zone, sends it across to the near side. Puck rolls back into the Rampage zone where Fewer gets there. White sends it up the wall, and Roberts sends it across. Roberts turns, sends it back across, looking for White. He comes back to the boards. He's going to skate into his own zone and then send it up the near side boards into the Blue Army zone. They turn around and send a pass back up. Bisley over to Bennett. Bennett up to Foster off his stick into the zone. Comes back out of the zone. Bennett recollects at neutral ice. Rampage tag up. He's going to skate to the far side. Gets a poke check at the point, and now the puck comes up to neutral ice. Quick steal. Back into the Blue Army zone. Cross ice to the far side. It's going to go in, and we get a whistle for icing. 16 minutes left in period number 3. Face off. in the Blue Army zone. And on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Judkins, Bennett, Bisley, and Banyan. Couldn't see him. Tied up on the draw, goes back behind the Blue Army net. Blue Army sends it to the far side wall, back again, into the neutral zone, into the Rampage zone now. Shot, Shields turns that one aside, it goes up and into the netting and out of play. 15:45 left in period number 3. And we will have Fewer and White come out to join Judkins, Flanagan, and Banyan. Blue Army wins the draw. Shot taken. Shields with the save. Bounces around out front. White picks it up. Sends it to Judkins on the far side. Back through. Blue Army sends it off the near side wall. Back to Fewer. Fewer off the wall on the near side. Blue Army coming back the other way. A little back and forth at neutral. Now Blue Army sends it into the Rampage zone. White's going to chip it back out again. Judkins picks it up off the wall. Sends it up to Flanagan. Back to White. White crashing through. He's going to take a shot. Goaltender makes a save and covers up. 15:08 left in period number 3. We're going to face off in the Blue Army zone. Out on the ice, we've got Dormer, Friedis, Whittingham, Bennett, and Bisley. Blue Army sends a puck around the boards to the near side. Cross ice pass. Quick steal by Dormer. He turns and fires it back into the Blue Army zone. Whittingham in, trying to tie things up down low. Pass across. Into the corner. Tied up. Dormer and Whittingham are in there. Puck comes up and Blue Army is going to turn with it. Clear the zone. And then a quick steal. Friedis turns. He's going to chip it back into the Blue Army zone deep. Dormer giving chase on the forecheck. And we got another penalty coming to the Rampage. Reaching for the puck, and we got a trip. 14:21 left in period number 3. Rampage are going to be on the penalty kill. Out on the ice to start the PK, we've got Whitted, Drexel, White, and Banyan. Bouncing around out front. Puck bounces back into the corner. Fed back to the far side. Blue Army sends it up to the blue line. Cross to the near side point. Fed back down low, centering pass, and White's going to clear it the distance. Blue Army comes back into their zone for it. Bounces up and out of the zone. Blue Army has to regroup. Send it across to the far side. Back into the zone on the far side. Shot taken. Shields with the save. And White sends it up to the blue line and it clears. Blue Army regroup. Across to the far side. Down the wall. It's going to rim around back behind. Into the corner. Back up the wall on the near side. Blue Army skates it down low into the corner. Behind the Rampage net. Up to the blue line. Back to the far side. Shot taken. Shields with the save. It goes to the near side corner. Blue Army regains control of the puck. Chips it down low. Makes a move to the far wall. It's held up on the wall momentarily. They're going to turn, feed it back down low. Pass out front, bouncing around. Up front, Drexel has it on his stick. He's going to clear it. And that was played with a high stick. So we get a stoppage. 12:46 left in period number 3. 25 seconds on the penalty kill. We'll get a face-off in the Blue Army zone. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Judkins, Bennett, and Bisley. Tied up on the draw. Looks like Sarver drives it down low into the corner. Feeds it up the boards to Bennett at the point. It bounces past him. Tries to recollect. Sends it back up the boards. Back into the Blue Army zone. Blue Army sends it across the far side. Bisley sends it back the other direction. And Rampage are back at 5. 12-17 left in the game. Blue Army to the far side. Send it up and out of the zone. Change of direction. And now Rahosian feeds it up looking for Sarver just outside the reach. That's going to be icing. 12:02 left in the game. Face-off will be back in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahosian, Fewer, and White. Puck bounces down low. Fewer turns in the corner with it. Sends it up the wall. Foster chips it up and out. Rahosian tries to get it on his stick. Little back and forth at neutral ice. White sends it into the zone. Blue Army has it back on the stick. And now they are going to clear out to the far side wall. Chip down low into the corner. White's going to go after it. Sends it around the boards to the near side. Roberts for Foster. Blue Army coming back the other way into the Rampage zone. Fewer picks it up. Makes a move. Sends it up the near side wall. Shot taken, goes up and over to the far wall. White picks it up. He's going to clear the zone with it. Blue Army sends it back in. They have to tag up. Foster comes back for it. He's going to be the first one to get there. Up the near side wall. Bounces around, and now puck clears out. It's going to get sent the distance, and we get a whistle for icing. 10:54 left in period number 3. Faceoff's going to be back in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Whittingham, Dormer, Friedis, Bennett, and Bisley. Rampage with the draw back into the corner. Bennett sends it hard up the boards. It doesn't connect. That's going to be icing. 10:45 left in period number 3. Same group out as before. Rampage with the draw back in the corner. Sends it around to the far side. Whittingham comes back this way, and he's going to skate out to the near side boards. He's out of the zone, into the Blue Army zone, down low into the corner. Puck bounces out front, and the goaltender is going to cover it up. 10:25 left in period number 3. We'll get a face-off in the Blue Army zone. Looks like we've got Banyan and Flanagan and Judkins and Bisley and Bennett. Rampage win the draw, tried to feed it through, goes wide of the net, ends up in the far corner. Flanagan up to the point, shot goes wide of the net, ends up on the near side boards. Takes a weird bounce out in front, and now Blue Army's going to clear. Bisley gets there, sends it off of a body, quick shot taken, shields with the save, is loose, and then gets scooped out by Bennett. Banyan is going to chip it into the zone. Flanagan giving chase on the forecheck. Quick steal and a wraparound attempt by Banyan. Goaltender is going to close the door and cover it up. 9:47 left in the game. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Dormer, and White. No. Yeah. No. Whitted, Drexel, Sarver. Sorry, Dormer's leaving the ice. White and Fewer. Puck comes up to the point. Slid through. Goaltender's going to cover it up. We get a stoppage. We'll get another face-off in the Blue Army zone. Rampage win the draw, up to White. White feeds it through, sticks in the way. Puck gets cleared to the far side and out of the zone. Fewer's going to chip it back in. Rampage have to tag up. Blue Army picks it up behind their net. Going to skate out of the zone with it. Off the boards on the near side. This doesn't connect. And we get a whistle for icing. 9:18 left in period number 3. Face off back in the Blue Army zone. Blue Army comes out of the pile with the puck. They're back behind their net. Up to neutral. Far wall and down into the corner. Drexel gets a stick on it. Sends it up for Sarver. Sarver turns with it. Sarver's out of the zone. Into the Blue Army zone over to Whitted. Whitted tries to feed it back through. Ends up on the far wall. Drexel down to Sarver in the corner. Couple players on. It's going to come back behind the net, and Blue Army sends it to the near side. And Drexel keeps it in. Sarver sends it across to the near side corner. Whitted turns, tries to feed it out front. Puck gets tied up down low. I can't see where it is. Looks like Blue Army's got it behind their net. They send it to the far side wall. Up, but not out. Whitted sends it back down. Drives into the corner, turns around looking for Sarver. It goes up to the far wall and gets tied up there. Blue Army sends it across and out of the zone. Bennett comes back in his own zone with it, up to Whitted. Goes off of a stick and into the Blue Army zone. Rampage getting the change. Blue Army sends it the distance, and we get a whistle for icing. 7:57 left in period number 3. Face off in the Blue Army zone. On the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahosian, Bennett, and Bisley. Tied up down low in the corner to the far side wall. Tied up on the far wall. We got Roberts and Rahosian in the mix. Puck goes down low into the corner. Up to the point and not out, or I guess it did come out. We get a whistle for offsides. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in period number 3. We'll get a face-off outside the Blue Army zone. On the ice, we've got Freitas, Judkins, Whittingham, Fewer, and White. Tied up on the draw. Comes up and out of the zone to White. White tries to chip it off the boards. It comes back this way. Back into the Blue Army zone. Blue Army has the puck. Out to neutral ice. White's going to turn with it. Sends it off the boards on the near side into the Blue Army zone. Freitas on the forecheck. Puck down back behind the Rampage, or behind the Blue Army net. .6:49 left in period number 3.
He's 6'4" and left his fucking feet over here and it hits him from behind down there. Kick him out.
So we got a penalty coming to the Rampage. Still waiting to see what the signal is, what the call is. Yet to have an arm up in the air. Out on the ice. So it appears that they're assigning a 2 and 10 based on the fact that we have 2 players in the box.
Where's the kid that freaking...
Waiting to hear what the situation is. There's a whole lot of confusion. Not entirely sure what we've got going. We currently have 2 players in the box. It looks like Blue Armies has 1 player in the box. And I think we may end up staying 5-on-5, possibly. Out on the ice, we've got Whitted, Banyan, Flanagan, and Fewer right now. I think maybe it's going to be 4-on-4. Nope, I'm sorry, White's out there as well, so maybe it is 5-on-5. The guys in the scorekeeper box don't have anything exactly up on the board yet, so difficult to determine. It does look like we're going to stay 5-on-5. Rampage win the draw. Puck down low in the corner. Flanagan skates out front. Sends the puck across to the far side. Banyan gets there. Flips it up. And then back to Banyan down low. Sends the puck out front. And Blue Army are going to clear to the point, but not out. Flanagan dumps it in at the blue line. Change of direction. Blue Army has the puck in their own zone. They're going to send it to the far wall. Through neutral. Back down low, Shields covers up and takes a whack for his effort. 6:14 left in period number 3. We get a stoppage, face off in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Foster, Sarver, Bisley, Drexel, and Bennett. Tied up on the draw. Puck bouncing around out front, unable to get a shot up. Stick broken. Foster going to recollect. He dumps it into the zone. He's going to give chase. Puck behind the net. Foster and Sarver are in there. Shot. Goaltender makes a save. Is going to cover up, and we get a stoppage. Face off in the Blue Army zone with 6:08 left in period number 3. Puck goes up to the far point. Blue Army clear to the neutral zone. They skate through on the far side into the Rampage zone. Hold up on the far wall. Cross ice to the near side. Sent down low into the corner. Puck back behind the net. Foster sends it up and around. Comes up and out of the zone. Blue Army has to tag up. They send it back into the zone. Bennett recollects and has some time. Sends it up the near side wall. It doesn't connect, and that goes for icing. 5:28 left in period number 3. Face-off will be back in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Whittingham, Roberts, Fewer, White, and Dormer. Body's in the way, and the puck goes up and over, ends up in the far corner. White and Dormer are in the mix. Back to Dormer, fed back to Fewer. Up, but not out, and now it comes out to the neutral zone, bouncing around on everybody. Blue Army sends it back in. White has to come back into the corner for it. Sends it up to the far side to Dormer. Dormer cross ice looking for Roberts outside the reach. And that one doesn't have enough for icing. Play will continue. Blue Army back behind their own net. They're going to drop it to the far, or to the near side, excuse me. Puck back into the Rampage zone. Bennett's going to come back for it. Sends it up for Judkins. Blue Army holds it into the blue line. Back towards Shields. He sends it. Goes to Roberts. Roberts backhands it up and out. And that is icing. So we get a whistle. Face. I'll be back in the Rampage zone. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third. We've got Judkins, Flanagan, Bennett, Bisley, and Banyan on the ice. A lot of bees. Rampage win the draw back in the corner. Send it around to the far side to Bisley. Bisley up the wall. Still in the zone. Blue Army sends it back in, just wide of the net. Held up for Bennett. Bennett makes a move into the corner, sends it up the wall. Banyan off the wall. Blue Army turns around. Shields with a save. Blue Army dumps it back down. Back behind the Rampage net with it. Out the near side wall. Puck still bouncing around. And Judkins sends a stretch pass out to neutral ice to Banyan. Blue Army turns it around. They're going to dump it into the Rampage zone hard. Bounces around to the near wall. Flanagan is going to take the puck, drive it out to neutral ice. Takes the far side. He's into the Blue Army zone. To Whitted. Whitted looking for Whittingham in the corner, or Banyan in the corner, sorry. Puck still in the zone. Blue Army recollects. They're out to neutral ice now. Send it down on the near side. Change of direction. White's going to pick it up. Sends it up and out. It doesn't connect. That's going to be icing. They let play continue. Whitted ties things up down low in the corner in the Blue Army zone. Up looking for Flanagan, or Drexel, I think. Sorry, Sarver's in. Sends it across to Fewer. Fewer takes a shot. Goalie makes a save. Secondary shot goes wide of the net, ends up back behind. And we have a stoppage. I think the net is off again. 2:33 left in period number 3. On the ice, we've got Drexel, Sarver, White, Fewer, and Whittingham, Dormer, Foster, Fewer, and White. Comes up to neutral ice. Blue Army in the Rampage zone, sauces it across. White with the steal. White sends it up to Whittingham. Loses the handle. Blue Army coming back the other way. They send it in on the far side, down low into the corner. Fewer sends it around to the near side. Tied up on the near side wall. And we got a penalty coming.
Oh, that was terrible.
2:02. Left in the game. Trent White breathed a little too heavy on the player from Blue Army who went down, and so now we got another penalty kill for the Rampage. Out on the ice to take over on the PK. We've got, who do we got? We got Judkins, Banyan, Bennett, and Whitted, and we are going to have a timeout. right, out on the ice to start the penalty kill with just over 2 minutes left in the game. We've got Whitted, Bennett, Judkins, and Banyan. Blue Army has pulled their goaltender, added an extra attacker. They send the puck up to the point. Shot through bodies. It's bouncing down low. Bennett turns, backhands it. He's going to clear it out. It's going to go the distance. Blue Army regrouping in their own zone. Back into the Rampage zone with it. Whitted turns. He's going to fire, and that one is going to go in the net. So a no-look turnaround clearing attempt with 1:33 left in the game, and the Rampage are going to go up by a score of 6-3 on the empty net shorthanded goal to Boone Whitted. Out on the ice to take over on the penalty kill. We still have a minute and 33 left to play, minute 31 on the penalty. We've got Drexel, Whittingham, Banyan, and Bennett. Drexel turns with it, sends it. Blue Army has it in their own zone. Back across to the far side. To the near side. And then center ice. Drexel gets a stick on it. Bouncing around. Blue Army regains shot. Shields with a save. Shields with another save. He's got the second one in his glove. And he's going to hang on. 1:08 left on the PK. 1:11 in the game. Face off in the Rampage zone. We'll get some fresh penalty killers on the ice. We've got Roberts, Foster, Bisley, and Fewer. Shot. Shields with the save. Puck bounces up and over, ends up in the far side corner. Foster turns and fires. He's going to clear it. Blue Army goaltender holds it up for his defenseman. Blue Army turns, regroups in their own zone. Out to the far side. Into the corner. And Roberts turns and fires off of the stick and out of the zone. 43 seconds left on the PK. I don't think that's possible. 31 seconds left in the game. Something went haywire with the board. All right, misread it. 26 seconds left in the game. Tied up on the far wall, and Foster's going to clear at the distance. That will be, that's not icing when we're on the penalty kill. Oh, sending somebody to the board, or to the box. So Rampage are going to be down by 2 for the next 10 seconds, and we have 12 seconds left in the game. Out on the ice to start the three-man defense, we've got Bisley, Fewer, and Flanagan. Tied up in the corner, Flanagan and Fewer in there, trying to run out the clock. The clock is stopped. The clock. Give them a couple extra seconds just to make sure that we get a fight going or something. I hope you guys at home could hear the asshole sitting next to me complaining about our kids through the game. Just so you know, when you're a full-grown adult and you're calling an 18-year-old kid a pussy, what does that make you? Thanks, everybody, for watching. It's been a good weekend overall. Congrats to the Rampage. I think very, very little of Minnesota hockey right now. We will see you guys next week in Chicago.